Welcome to the Returning Raven, Clarity Points for Truth, where we look closer at the yoga you don't know, the one with hidden forms, worldview, sorcery, and philosophy that clouds and deceptively influences culture, church, family, and you. I'm Dr. Alana Arguello. It's time to leave the fog, get out of the gray, and into the light. Join me today at the Clarity Point. Welcome to the Returning Raven, Clarity Points for Truth, where we discern how pagan worship infects and impacts the church, the family, and you. I'm your host, Dr. Alana Arguello. In today's episode, Twice Dead, we will be looking closer at the definition of yoga, as described in Unearthing Yoga's Ancient Roots, Exposing Sorcery and its Transcultural Reach, available on Amazon. We'll be looking at posture, or chapter 4, What is Yoga? Yoga is like the stars. It is real with an identity, perceived and visible but distant beyond grasp and scattered like the stars across the sky in the universe. Separated and classified by language, names, people, and cultures across all time. But always like the stars, it is still interesting and something to each beholder, alluring and mysterious, pursued by scientists and magicians alike. It is not perception that is reality, but rather a reality that becomes perception, to each his own. But what is it truly? Ancient and modern scholars have difficulty agreeing on a firm definition of yoga, yet it is found in every religion. They can't get an essential root from it, although its polytheistic acculturation and assimilation buffet of exchange and influence is seen throughout history and continues today with significant impact and popularity. It is the cause of dispute and division among some essentialist, orthodox, and monotheistic faiths. Yet given enough time, it usually finds a seat with the mystics and eventually with the people, and maybe even in the traditions. However, it rejects exclusive traditions in religion, as it either competes with them or changes them. It offers subjectivity while claiming to be an ultimate object of truth and way. It offers pluralism, but you must find a guru for submissive devotion. It's presumably safe, but you chart the unknown. Its stream and oceans end the same, but its current and path are bendable and adaptable. It appeals to the religious and the non-religious, as well as the spiritual and the non-spiritual. It can be the answer in secular institutions without requiring a question. It has entered every realm of our society without regard to any stable identity or balanced evaluation of its effects, which, if questioned, can be blocked by the greed for wealth it produces and the flowering promises of mental and physical health, fitness, prosperity, and access to the divine. Unlike most religions, its promises hold equal opportunity that allure and attract across cultures, periods, and time. Though remaining steadfast and fixed while in paradox, it is bendable and adaptable to will and form. It offers the tangible and reachable while staying elusive and undefinable. It is a waterslide of variant experiences in the realm of the metaphysical, even sensational and supernatural. It's a play in non-reality that impacts the physical. You can have it, but you cannot grasp it. It can substantiate your life, but it is fleeting. It becomes a value and necessity, while through liberation shows you the exit door to all you've ever known from hope and meaning. It gives a banner to express your belief in science while waving it beyond the observable and reproducible toward romantic imaginary notions of self-godhood. These passionate notions permit one to leave the realm of logic while claiming truth. They can't quite categorize it, yet its identifiable pieces can be partaken at will, even influence, change, direct, and adapt a society. Just because no one can define it doesn't mean it has no definition or source. Just because it appears hidden and secret doesn't mean it can't be discovered and dug up. What is yoga? It has stood on the sidelines of American thought in the back pages of earlier religious texts, deemed merely a sub-practice. Yet it's in all institutions, whether religious, secular, or humanist. It brings people together in community and class. At the same time, it causes division and contention. It is confusing yet sought after equally across cultures and time. It generates trends, yet doesn't reveal its face. It comes scantily clothed and bold in fitness, yet closeted and veiled in the contemplative. It has moved so much through contemporary society that most don't recognize it for what it is, and don't even know when they've practiced one of its forms or embraced part of its worldview. So what is this cunning craft? What is yoga? Simply, yoga is only an idea. It's not a practice. It produces practices. It is an idea that produces practices. It is an ancient universal idea. It is the idea that divine godhood, immortality, and secret knowledge of the universe, the divine, and the self is attainable through a subjective spiritual path, a path of works, by way of various mind-body word forms, physical or mental exercises of sorcery, worship, and ritual. It is combined, constructed, and appropriated for all cultures, for any time, as a dynamic master pursuit of salvation and liberation of soul, mind, and body to divine consciousness. So let's connect yoga to the earlier defined terms looked at in the last episode. Each of my following claims will be unearthed and exposed one by one in detail in future episodes, as it is laid out in the book. But for now, here's a crucial summation, so that you can preview what is to come, so you may rightly understand the seriousness of my warnings. This summation is a wake-up call to clarity, that not only what was still is, but what was shall also be. As we move forward in this journey, you'll understand how yoga not only is celestial earth and goddess worship, but that it is essential to many myth stories in history. And today, yoga is sold to you as really good for you, really necessary for wealth, health, prosperity, and global unity, none of which is true. So yoga is a myth, appears and presents itself as true, but is in fact false. Yoga is a myth and pagan because its doctrine and philosophies are in direct rebellion to the true God, his nature, his ways, and his commands. So yoga is a pagan myth. Yoga involves secret knowledge, the occult, of word, body, and mind magic practices, repeated in ritual witchcraft. In fact, ancient yogis and yoginis, female yogis, were called sorcerers. It's no wonder then that yoga requires teachers for a false gospel to a false god in rebellion to the true God, and offers works-based salvation with the God and the sacrifice being you. So yoga is apostasy. Yoga is idolatry. Yoga is pagan worship. And since yoga holds a false gospel that we will learn more about in the next episode, and it is being offered to the church and by some in the church today as a new false way to pray, worship, and introduces a false god and false ways, yoga is heresy. And yoga is occult, witchcraft. And since you need teachers to teach you and take you deeper into its secrets toward mastery, yoga is, as it was in the ancient world, it still is today. Yoga is sorcery. And the teachers, whether claiming Christian or not, are then rightly called sorcerers. And if they do claim to be Christian and offer yoga, which is an inner pursuit of forms of divination to find self and God within, they not only are false teachers teaching you, but they are also false prophets deceiving you with pagan ways that are in rebellion to the Christian worldview, and they are introducing you to false Christ. And these little false prophets and little false Christ are just prepping you into a cult mentality to receive the big false prophet and follow the big false Christ, the ones to come, making you beast ready. The book of Jude warns about some that come in, that creep in unawares, and that they are twice dead. They appear Christian, appear to have accepted a biblical worldview, and appear to be contenders for truth, but their fruit is dead, and the roots of their fruit are dead. They are both dead in their sin nature and reject the truth, so they are eternally condemned. But yet they are among us, and their false tree produces false fruit. The dead tree produces dead fruit. They have chosen the way of the false, including the way of Cain, who had brought carnal, self-focused sacrifice. Cain did it his way, not God's. Yoga is carnal. Yoga is man's way to salvation, not God's. And of course, it's not true salvation nor true liberation. It's false. It's the way of Cain. It's twice dead. It's easy to think only of witchcraft as what is seen of witches in Hollywood or at Halloween, and those can expose true features of witchcraft, like the witch's hat being representative of the cone of power, which derives from the witchcraft cone of power when witches take the preferred color, white chalk, and draw circles on the floor so that they can get in or alongside to conjure and will their agreed upon prayers as it connects the power and pushes up and out to the world. But in general, the outfit, the design you typically think of in regard to sorcery, hats, brooms, cauldrons, black capes, is not the sum of, nor the total real face of witchcraft. In other words, you've probably compartmentalized witchcraft to be just the thing sold in popular media today, rather than simply at its core, what it is. And just like Satan wants you to think the devil is a red cartoon character with a pitchfork, so too does he want you to see witchcraft as a woman on a broom. Like Satan masquerades as an angel of light, so too his schemes and ways are crafted into your everyday life. So you'll accept it, him, more easily. What was still is, and what is yoga, and yoga is sorcery. Yoga in the ancient world at times included drug use to enhance the practices. This is rising in popularity again today. The revelation of Jesus Christ, the last book in the Bible, says the world will be under sorcery. And that word, as mentioned earlier, includes both drug use and yoga meditation, incantations, a fornication that is referred to as adulterous and part of the seduction of the whore, or goddess, of Babylon. Again, yoga at its root is goddess worship. So yoga not only is sorcery, yoga is end-time sorcery. That may come as a shock, even outlandish to you. But stay with me through the end of this series to find out how it is. And not only do I believe you will come to realize it is end-time sorcery, you'll also better understand the surge of lawlessness you see rising without apology in America and beyond today. Thank you for joining me today on The Returning Raven. I'm Dr. Alana Arguello. Please ring the bell, subscribe, and share. Next time we will unearth the surprising doctrine of yoga's gospel. I'll see you at the next clarity point for truth. And until then, choose this day whom you will serve. Get the pagan worship out and worship in truth. Thank you for joining me today on The Returning Raven. I'm Dr. Alana Arguello. For a closer look again at truth, I'll see you at the next clarity point.